Hello everybody. In our previous tutorial videos, we have introduced a very useful plugin to you. This plugin is compatible with Mql4-based programs, and you can use this plugin to convert your existing Mql4-based programs to WebAssembly and then make your old programs runnable on web browser. It's very useful plugin. We have introduced how to compile and how to load this your existing Mql4 based programs by this plugin, and we have introduced how to redefine the data structure as well. And in this tutorial video, we will explain how to solve issues you may encounter when you compile your old programs. I have made an example here. In this example, we have 6 scenarios. These scenarios are our old coding styles. Actually, they are correct. If you use Mql4 compiler, and your source codes can be compiled correctly, so you don't need to modify them. But Mql4 is not 100% compatible to C++ compiler. So if you use C++ compiler and inscription extension to compile your existing Mql4 based programs, you may encounter errors. Okay, let's try first. You can see, and we have encountered 12 errors generated. So we need to solve the issues. I have found solutions to solve the issues. The first scenario is we use ArrayResize API function to allocate some space for our data array. But in our system, actually in our JavaScript system, and two-dimensional array is allowed to define, so we will not meet any problem. But in our C++ part, and we cannot define two-dimensional data array, so we need to convert these source codes in this way, and we have found solutions. Okay, so we need to use double pointers here and to define an array, and resize the array by explicitly pass a value to the API function. Okay, and the second scenario is ArrayInitialized, and we cannot use ArrayInitialized in this way as well. We need to explicitly pass the size to the API function, because in C++ compiler, the system, the compiler doesn't know your array's size, so we need to explicitly define the size. So we need to use the API in this way. And the size should be equal to the definition. Okay? And the third scenario is StartPredefinedEvent function. And we don't use int StartPredefined function, so we need to recode our source code by replace the function, the event triggered function name, by untick function. Because untick return void, so we need to remove the return value. Okay, it's done. And after that, and we need to add the pointer value, because in our system and point is not predefined. The fifth scenario is refresh rates, because in our system you can get refresh the rates always. So actually this function does nothing in our function, in our system. So actually you can remove this API function. But we don't want to modify our source codes too much, so we retain this API function and make this function do nothing. So you can still use this API function. Okay, just keep it as it was. Okay, the sixth scenario is the most important part. I need to explain further. In our system, there are no predefined array for time, for candlesticks, for volume. So you cannot use time, open, high, low, close, volume, this predefined array in our system. Instead, you need to use our predefined function. We can use in, you need to modify your source code in this way. Okay, it's done. And another point, another very important rule is, in our system, all the arrays are not time series arrays. That means the arrays are indexed from left to right. So the first element stands for the oldest data, and the latest element, the length minus 1, stands for the latest value. So if you want to use array in our system, you must remember this rule. This rule will not be changed always. So you must remember, if you want to use array, you need to use length minus 1 to index your latest data. Okay, the 01 stands for the oldest data. But we redefined the sixth API functions, and we recoded the indicators functions, such as these API functions. We recoded them, and these functions actually these functions are indexed from left. They are indexed from right to left. So you need to use shift 0 to get the latest value, and the length -1 to get the oldest data. So these predefined API functions and the technical indicators functions are recoded in this way to make you index the data array from right to left. So if you want to get the latest data, you need to pass 0 to the shift parameter. Okay, so they are entirely opposite. Data array is indexed from left to right. These functions are indexed from right to left. So please be careful to this rule. It's very, very, very important in our system, and we will not change this rule always. Okay, so please note this rule. Okay, and now let's compile the source codes again, and every error disappeared. Okay, so it's done successfully. Okay, this tutorial is to guide you how to modify your existing Mql4-based programs. Thank you for watching. See you next time.